really hot.
Do you like it? Do you like it?
I love it. Good morning. Happy Thursday, you guys. Happy Relationship Thursday.
Turds Day. Relationship Turds Day.
Welcome to the show. And today we're going to be talking about codependent relationships.
Codependency. Ooh.
Codependent relationships.
If it's codependent, it is called a relationship.
Do you know that?
Fact.
What is it, like a GIF with that girl doing?
Wait, doing what? I wonder if the word relationship is in the Urban Dictionary, or
If not, it's time to add it.
it's in the Erin Dictionary.
Now
Now
it's
it's in your
relationship with shit covering it.
and now it's in your dictionary. You're welcome. Okay, so
Well, let's begin with the definition, shall we?
of course. Do you want me to read it, or do you want to read it?
You go.
Codependency. What is it? Codependency is a behavioral condition in a relationship where one person enables another person's addiction, poor mental health, immaturity, irresponsibility, or underachievement. I'm going to say it again. It is a behavioral condition in a relationship where one person enables another person's addiction, poor mental health, immaturity, irresponsibility, or underachievement. Among the core characteristics of codependency is an excessive reliance on other people for approval and sense of identity. Wow. That last part, like, some people are codependent on social media, period. An excessive reliance on other people's approval for their sense of identity. Another way to say that, I guess, would be letting the thoughts and beliefs, letting what you think the thoughts and beliefs of other people are about you dictate how you live, what you do, and the decisions that you make. Boom.
Can we open up another tab?
Of course.
And look up, there's a reason why I'm about to say this, and look up the definition of the word love.
Oh.
See where I'm going with that?
Where are you going with that? An intense feeling of deep affection. It's a feeling, intense feeling of deep affection, which means even in a codependent relationship, there is love because you have a deep feeling of affection.
Yep.
What does it mean to be affectionate? This is the Erin Sarit rabbit hole you all are coming down with us. A gentle feeling of fondness or liking. Okay.
So, I guess the debate is knowing that that is the definition of affection. Do you really love the person if you're in a codependent relationship?
Fondness or liking. If you are enabling, this is good.
Yes.
If you are enabling somebody's a behavioral pattern that is negatively affecting you or them or anybody that they come in contact with, then you are not loving that person. You are being selfish in the sense that to call them out on their shit would make you feel uncomfortable. I have a story to share.
Go for it.
I was in a legitimately codependent, like very clearly establishable. Is that a word?
Establishable?
Established
Established.
as you could establish. That is establishable. You are able to establish it as. Okay, anyways. And It's actually, okay, so this is my moment of vulnerability too, because this was like my first real experience.
I'm going to share a story afterwards.
Okay, great. This is my first real experience that I had, like, my, like, holy shit, what was that moment with, like, another person of the same gender. Like, I always had, like, feelings and, like, crushes on girls before, like, when I was younger, but this was the first time, like, something had happened.
Kate Bosworth, Blue Crush.
Not really. But that's a good one. I wanted to look like her. I didn't really, whatever. But I, so there was this moment, this thing that happened, and I was like, oh my God, what was that? And then after that, it was like this, and it became like all the time, I felt like I was walking on eggshells, no matter what I did, what I didn't, like, damned if I did, damned if I didn't. I was always wrong. I always had to, like, be cautious, like I was gonna hurt their feelings, but, like, needed to be around them all the time because they made me feel a certain sort of validated because they, like, I'm funny or I'm whatever they thought. And this person now is, like, happily married with children and, like, amazing. Like, if I saw her, like, there would be no hard feelings, but, like, I went to counseling and I thought I was wrong. I was in a Bible college when this happened too, mind you. So for those of you conflicted with, like, the God versus gay thing, like, I get you, but I was, like, made to feel like I'm actually doing something wrong because I have some kind of feeling for the opposite or for the same sex. Mm-hmm. I also was like, why do I always feel like I'm wrong and, like, I'm, like, basically enabling this person to control me based off of their insecurities? And it was crazy. And I think that it was great because I know that I learned a lot about myself. I hope the same for the other person. But that was, like, the most ridiculously codependent relationship I was in. And ever since that, no matter if it was, I never really had any girlfriends. So even after that, there was, like, boyfriends. And even then I was like, no, fuck you. I'm going to do what I want to do. Like, if you're sad about it, that's on you. Mm-hmm. And I kind of always had that mentality afterwards. So yeah. I think because of that relationship, it actually changed the trajectory of my future relationships. Mm-hmm.
So I just wrote down a note because I want to share a story too. And then, you know, when you're like, I'm going to share a story, and then, like, you start going back in memory lane, you start like thinking about other stories. So I wanted to bring up a point. And the question is, do you think that codependency can be turned into a habit? Because from my own personal experience, and I'm going to start sharing with you a couple of stories in just a second, I was in a few codependent relationships. And I think that for me, codependency became a habit. And the only way that habit broke was when I got away from it, and then I found true love. So I think with regards to my first question.
You did something.
What?
No habit can be broken unless you actually acknowledge it's a problem.
Yeah.
Yes, codependency can become a habit. But so just like eating fast food can become a habit.
Right.
Stopping at McDonald's on the way home from work can become a habit until you recognize that something is not right about it. Something about it is not good for you. The only way you can fix something that needs to be made better is to understand that it's harming you. So what happened was you finally recognized after a few occurrences, this shit is not good for me.
Yeah.
So now I need to
stop it.
And then the next thing is to have courage. Mm-hmm. I had to have courage to say, you make me feel this way. I knew she was going to cry. I knew she was going to break down. I knew I was going to hurt her feelings. But I said, for the greater good of both of us, I have to get uncomfortable and I have to call you out on your shit.
Yeah.
And you had to recognize, then take action to improve your situation.
I actually had to, like, socially... Other than the gym, I socially isolated myself for quite some time.
With chocolate?
No?
It was after?
No. I was over a chocolate phase by then. But, you
Hey,
know.
but that's an important point, too, is when you started taking better care of yourself physically.
Yes.
And in a healthy component, you realize all these other things. How many of you in the inner circle or in one of our like closer coaching programs have noticed nutrition? It's not about nutrition, baby.
Nutrition is a manifestation of a bigger problem.
When you start treating your body better in general, your mind gets on board because you cannot disconnect the two. Like, you are one. When your body is changing in positive ways, your mind is going to jump along with it, and you're going to be like, oh wow, I noticed this, and I noticed this, and I noticed this. And that's an amazing thing. I've cut you off like 4 times. Okay, I'm going to shut up.
Well, I'm curious if there's anybody in the house who's an immigrant. Now,
Hashtag immigrant edge in the comments.
So here's the thing, you guys, you know, this is not my immigrant story. I will share it like one of these days, but it's a part of it. But, you know, when you come here on your own, being an immigrant, literally like no resources, no nothing, you've got some shit to figure out. Like, it's a completely different ballgame than being financially irresponsible. When you come here as an immigrant, literally like with nothing at a young age, like you have to figure shit out. And normally you're a go-getter because you ain't got no choice. So I think I told you guys that I didn't have my first car. I didn't own my first car until I was like 23 years old. To a point where it's like wherever I walked, I had to walk like at least like 30 minutes to an hour. You guys know I hate the winter. So
if you don't know, now you know.
God bless my soul. Some of the shit that I did, like, you'd think I'm a terrible person. But you know what? Like, in life, when it comes to survival, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. But I had a phase in my life where I just got fired for being gay from this Italian restaurant that I worked in town. That was like a 20-minute walk from my house. So I had to start working at a restaurant that was in another town. For that, I had to walk to the train station, which was 30 minutes to take a train to the next town. And, you know, that train would go like once an hour. And basically my commute was a 2-hour commute. And imagine, like, you know, being done with work, like, shout out to anybody who's ever worked in the service industry. Like, you know, if you work in a restaurant or a bar, let's say you get out at 11:30 and the next train is at 12:18, like, you're waiting outside, like, in the fucking cold, like, when there's nobody out there. And you know that shady shit happens at this time of the day.
Was that your shiver?
And that's just to get on the train so that you can walk home at a creepy hour till 1 a.m. Now, of course, in life, like, look, we all gotta do what we gotta do. But, you know, there was this girl who was like 3 years younger than me. I was in grad school at that point, and she was in college. And, you know, she was pretty cute. And that's when I started, like, that was like my second year of like being on the right path. So at first it was very ego driven. I was
being
like,
on the right path in what regards?
Like sustainable, like weight loss and body change. Like my body, like I started looking like an athlete. So like finally all the girls from college were just like, gosh, this girl. So I was
plus
like,
a heightened confidence.
Yes.
So it's more attractive.
So like, of course, like I took advantage of that. Like, I'm like, the girls in college wanted me. I was a little bit older because I was in grad school. I'm like, I can get all the side pieces that I want. And guess what? I did just that. And there was this one girl, she was kind of attractive, but like on an emotional and mental level, we were so fucking disconnected. I'm like, this girl acts like she's 6, though she's pretty hot, so I guess I can get with it. And she had a car, and she was willing to come pick me up. So
hashtag codependent.
Pick me up. Yeah, like that's why I was like, I have to share this story because I hope that y'all are dying right now. But I was seeing this girl for like a couple of weeks, literally, because I was like, you know what? Like, I gotta do what I gotta do. And I'm like, If that means that I gotta get back to the college dorm and give her a little something something so that I don't have to wait for 2 hours in the train station and walk my ass back home, I'm gonna do that. So it was really bad.
Savage.
Like, that was one of the stories. But then, you know, like my previous relationship with my ex, like, it was extremely codependent. And like, for me, that's why like getting a car was like a very symbolic moment, because it was a form of independence. Like, immigrants, like, I know that you guys get it. Like, you don't realize how many opportunities you guys have. But just, you know, that's why it was one of the lessons that are like, okay, like, you really need to have a car. But my thing was, I didn't get a car immediately because I wanted to save up for it so I can pay it all off up front. Because again, that was one of the financial things that, you know, my parents taught me. So my first car was a cute little 1995 Honda Civic. We talked about it last night. Like, to turn down the window, I had to like
churn butter.
Yeah, and like AC wouldn't work in the summer, so I would just like, wherever I would drive, like, I'd get soaked in. But hey, you know what? It got me from point A to point B.
The heat fogged up the windows. You had to wipe the window down with your hand.
But sometimes in life, you know, I feel like codependency happens for two reasons. Look, whatever it is that you want in life is in the access of other people.
I'm trying to think of your two reasons.
So for one, you can become codependent because you know that there's somebody that, you know, maybe you connect with on a very surface level, but they have something to offer you. So you stick along, right? Like, for example, you know, with me and the car. I did not care for the girl. I cared for the car and not being cold. And the second reason is that you're not in a place where you're okay with yourself. So you're looking for external validation from a different source. Mm-hmm. And I believe that for the community that watches, most of you guys are not immigrants. That's not your issue. You guys drive Beamers. Even though some of you guys are in debt, right? But that's something that we're working on. The problem that this community has is you haven't fully got yourself to a point where you've overcome obstacles because you weren't being guided how to. So you're seeking that external validation. And I feel as if I have permission to speak the truth because I see that happen in coaching so many times. And I can say that the ones who have made the most incredible transformation that I've had the pleasure to coach with were either the ones who were just all-in people who were misled for a very long time and, you know, through guidance, they achieved incredible results, or because they were held back by somebody that they were dating. I don't think people realize how codependent relationships are like such a life killer. Honestly,
suffocating.
It's suffocating. I mean, it's relationship Thursday, so we can even feel okay to say like it's a boner kill. Yeah. Like it just, there's nothing good about codependent relationship, but the problem with codependent relationships, it's like a vicious cycle because you're seeking that external validation until you make enough progress within your self-development. You're gonna like, it doesn't matter how bad it is, you're gonna still like be this level of attached to it.
Mm-hmm. I want to share a couple thoughts if your thoughts over.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about this, and I was trying to think of your two reasons why you said people end up in codependent relationships, and one of the reasons that came to my mind is you said an insecurity within yourself.
Yep.
I think also that leads to a fear of being alone.
Yes.
And people have this fear of being alone. And that's because the relationship you have with you isn't good. So you want a different one. But when you get into that different one, that relationship is only going to be as good as the one you have with yourself or that person has with themselves. And I mean, it's really important to note that there's a difference between love and infatuation.
Yes.
And in the beginning, there's always infatuation. And though love is a feeling, you can't deny that there are feelings of love. But it's different to have love for somebody or feel love as an emotion. Mm-hmm. When you love somebody, you will do anything for them. You'll do anything for them, but you're not dependent on them. When you have feelings of love, you have a feeling that you get by being with that person for a certain period of time. Because eventually, if you don't actually love them, you will end up resenting them. And what happens is then you become dependent on feelings of validation. Hold on.
Oh, sorry. I remember what word was there.
So I want to look up the definition of infatuation is an intense but short-lived passion or admiration for someone or something. It's a short-lived passion or admiration for. So during that time, you have the feelings of love, but you don't love, if that makes sense. So you can, when you love somebody, you'll do something for them, but you're not reliant on their validation. Sarit and I absolutely adore being around her 99% of the times, but we have our moments where we're like, I need to take a step back from you, and that's okay. I like to surf. She doesn't. I can go surf by myself and know she's not going to be mad or offended or sad or cry because I'm not spending every moment I have with her. She can go do something and I'm going to be like, okay, that's amazing. Like, as long as you're happy. When you truly, truly love somebody, the infatuation goes away. That's why people are like, oh, you have sex all the time in the beginning and then you don't. It's because you're no longer infatuated. You either love them now or you're codependent with them now. I think those are the two options, but I have only one brain and somebody might think differently than that.
And one life and one experience.
But, you know, those are my...
And look, our point is not to call out anybody because we've been in it. And
I mean, if it's you, we are calling them out.
Yes, but with love and to create awareness, because awareness is step one with regards to creating change. And I truly believe, and it's no wonder why the divorce rate is so high. It's because people have gone themselves into codependent relationships. 64% of Americans have a divorce. And I truly believe also that half of them who end up staying together are staying together because they fear so much.
They feel a sense of obligation or fear of being alone.
There's a difference between codependency and alignment. Like, we are together all the time because we're in so much alignment. Like, if you guys...
Look how cute she is. How could you not want to spend time with this?
But spending all the time with one another because you're scared that they're going to go see somebody else, or...
They don't love you if they go away from you for a second.
Or, like, they don't text you as soon as they leave the house. Dude, like, that's codependency. So I wanted to search signs of codependency.
Ooh, this is good.
Okay.
This will be helpful.
Because again, I'm not a therapist and these conversations are literally based off of our life experience.
Oh, this is good. See those bullet points? Ooh.
So...
Okay. I want to say something.
Yeah.
So for the people who have been transformed by us in this specific way, where you've like improved relationships, or perhaps you have edited relationships or removed yourself from certain people. Relationship's a relationship. It doesn't have to be a romantic one. There doesn't have to be infatuation for you to be codependent on somebody. So these are the symptoms, and what I want is for the people, let's say like inner circle people, maybe who have broke up with somebody that was toxic recently. I can think of a few of you. or whatnot. I want you to pay attention to this, and I want you to see how you're actually transforming. You're not working on your relationship with this other person. You're working on your relationship with you. So listen to these bullet points.
So how do you know if you're in a codependent relationship? Sign number 1, you have low self-esteem. What is low self-esteem? Feeling that you're not good enough or comparing yourself to others are sign of low self-esteem. The tricky thing about self-esteem is that some people think highly of themselves, but it's only a disguise.
Oh, shit. Hey, look. Also, I want to say on to that is a massive limiting belief, because that was me. I appeared on the outside to be so confident, and people were like, oh, Erin, you were a force to be reckoned with. But then I'll go home, and when I was with myself, that was the determining factor.
Hold on. So back to, but it's only a disguise. They actually feel unlovable or inadequate. Undermath, usually hidden from consciousness, are feelings of shame, guilt, and perfectionism often go along with low self-esteem. If everything is perfect, you don't feel bad about yourself.
Oof. And perfection is a made-up idea.
That's just point number 1.
Perfection is an expectation.
And by the way, and this is a coaching point, like as a coach, I can read within 2 minutes of meeting somebody what is their low self-esteem.
What is their level of self-esteem?
Sorry, what is their level of self-esteem?
It's an
Purely,
energy.
it's an energy, and because here's the thing, when you're coaching someone, it is a form of a relationship.
They're all going to be self-conscious now whenever they meet us in person. Just kidding. But it is an energy.
Yeah, like other people can feel it. And what I'm trying to say by that is that it's an energy that's not just like being felt by your significant other, but it's felt by coworkers, leaders in your life. If you have any coaches.
And it comes out in your language. So though you may not recognize it, we do.
Yes.
The way in which you use your words tells a massive story beyond the words that are actually being used.
Yep.
And wow, I feel like that was a good quote. Erin Atwood. Okay.
There is an espresso for that.
There's an espresso for that. Okay, so anyways, what was I saying? I always want to congratulate myself. My ego is like, ha ha ha, I got you. And then the other part of me is like, fuck off, you idiot.
12.
I'm 12. But I really don't know what I was saying.
I don't know what you're saying either. So low self-esteem, that's point number 1.
Oh yes, through your language. So, and I hear it, and it drives me crazy because I see it everywhere. And the lover in me and the coach in me and the person who wants to help is like, I got to help everybody. And then the other part of me is like so stressed that I'm like, I have so much other shit to do. This is why we want to speak on the 10X stage. This is why we want to speak in front of millions of people, because we can deliver the message to everybody at one time. Oh my God. What a blessing.
Okay.
What a blessing.
It only keeps getting better.
Go.
People pleasing is point number 2. It's fine to want to please someone you care about, but codependents usually don't think they have a choice. Saying no causes them anxiety.
Oh, shit.
Some codependents have a hard time saying no to anyone. They go out of their way and sacrifice their own needs to accommodate other people.
I want to add to the end of that, for fear of hurting somebody else's feelings and keeping yourself comfortable. That's what I would add to the end of that sentence. Dang, are you guys loving this? I feel like this episode is on fire. The whole house is on fire.
What cartoon was this? I think it was Tom and Jerry, where his mouth opens and coins come out of his mouth like...
You always reference Tom and Jerry. I love it.
I think because it's like one of the only cartoons that I watch. Because when you're an immigrant and you have only one channel for whatever kid stuff, like I know Tom and Jerry, I know Smurfs, Power Rangers.
Power Rangers.
And that's it, I think.
Did you know Captain Planet?
No.
Captain Planet, he's a hero.
Yeah.
Gonna take pollution down to zero. With
All
our
right.
powers combined.
All right.
That's
so
something your mom would do.
My mom's been on the page, you guys. She might have made comments on some of your things.
She's blowing it up.
She's doing her motherly things. Okay, you ready for the third one? Poor boundaries.
Oh, how many times do we talk about boundaries?
Boundaries are sort of an imaginary line between you and others. It divides up what's yours and somebody else's, and that applies not only to your body, money, and belongings, but also to your feelings, thoughts, and needs. That's especially where codependents get into trouble. They have blurry or weak boundaries. They feel responsible for other people's feelings and problems, or blame their own on someone else.
Oof.
Some codependents have rigid boundaries. They're closed off and withdrawn, making it hard for other people to get close to them. Sometimes people flip back and forth between having weak boundaries and having rigid ones.
Yeah, it's like the need to make up for. I remember for me, it's like you have to get to a different mental space when you're so used to saying yes to everybody, or so used to like, and this is me too. Like, you say yes to everybody because you fear hurting their feelings. Here, eat this food. It's hard to say no because people are so soft and weak, especially in America. Like, if you say no to somebody's food, like your fear that they get offended. And that's probably because it takes one to know one, and you would get offended if somebody said no to your food.
Would you really get offended? Not if you're used to saying no.
No, but also if you understand and you can logically grasp the situation. We're going to use this as an example because it also relates to why people struggle to lose weight, because they have a hard time saying no to food, but no to a lot of things. And when somebody offers you food, if you feel bad saying no because you think maybe they'll be offended or hurt because you've rejected something they've offered you, which is a legitimate thought, but doesn't need to be a legitimate fear, because what that person's response is to your response has nothing to do with you. Now, if you say, no, fuck your food, it's disgusting, poof, when you slap the plate out of their hand, that's different. But if you say, hey, no thanks, I'm okay, like, it's still, I find it difficult sometimes to say it to your mom. To say it to certain people, I say it anyways because I know at the end result, logically, like, it doesn't have anything to do with me if you respond by being offended or sad. If I deliver it in a nice way. Continue, proceed.
I feel like I wanted to say something, but I forgot. So I'll just keep going. Point number 4, reactivity. A consequence of poor boundaries is that you react to everyone's thoughts and feelings. Hence why you emotionally eat. If someone says something you disagree with, you either believe it or become defensive. You absorb their words because there's no boundary. With the boundary, you'd realize it's just their opinion and not a reflection of who, and not feel threatened by disagreements.
I think the next ones are going to get a little bit less relevant. I mean, they're still going to be relevant, but okay. They're all relevant. What am I saying?
They're all relevant.
Dysfunctional communication.
Next one, caretaking. Another effect of poor boundaries is that if someone else has a problem, you want to help them to the point that you give up yourself. All mothers in the house. It's natural to feel empathy and sympathy for someone, but codependents start putting other people ahead of themselves. In fact, they need to help and might feel rejected if another person doesn't want help. Moreover, they keep trying to help and fix the other person, even when that person clearly isn't taking their advice. You guys, Why do you think we have relationship and money conversations? Because for most of you, your weight issue is a relationship issue with yourself, with your others, and your scarcity mindset. Ta-da!
I just wrote down something in all caps because it's very important. But I will kind of want to wait to see if this is valid until we read all of these.
Okay, next point, control. Control helps codependents feel safe and secure. Everyone needs some control over events in their life. You won't want to live in constant uncertainty and chaos, but for codependents, control limits their ability to take risks and share their feelings. Sometimes they have an addiction that either helps them loosen up, like alcoholism, or helps them hold their feelings down, like workaholism, so that they don't feel out of control. Codependents also need to control those close to them because they need other people to behave in a certain way to feel okay. In fact, people-pleasing and caretaking can be used to control and manipulate people. Alternatively, codependents are bossy and tell you what you should or should not do. This is a violation of someone else's boundary. This is so good. This is so good. Everything rises and falls in leadership.
For real. Daisy's being an asshole right now. And I love her. She's like, that's codependent, Erin. You don't need that validation, LOL. So I want to explain, because I know that you're totally joking, and it's funny because I said, haha, and I'm trying to think back to what I said. But there's a difference between being a human being and enjoying validation versus needing it and being dependent on it to be happy.
Yes.
I don't need validation to be happy or be okay with myself. But everybody likes to be validated. Everybody wants to be validated. Do I love it when somebody says, ha ha ha, Erin, what you said was so funny? Yes, of course. I'm like, yay, boom. It's dopamine. We all love it.
Yeah,
but it's when you become dependent on it. It's like food addiction. You get that dopamine hit. You're either like, wow, that was really nice and okay, now I can move on. Or you're like, I need it again or I can't live.
Instagram girls just showing their ass.
Yeah, for validation. How many likes can I get? I need more likes. I need more likes. It's like
We'll show my tits tomorrow. I need more likes.
I need more likes. I need more followers, or else I'm nothing. It's all about self-worth. Okay, let's continue.
Dysfunctional communication. Codependents have trouble when it comes to communicating their thoughts, feelings, and needs. Of course, if you don't know what you think, feel, or need, this becomes a problem. Other times you know, but you won't own up to your truth. You're afraid to be truthful because you don't want to upset someone else. Instead of saying, I don't like that, you might pretend it's okay to tell someone what to do. Communication becomes dishonest and confusing when you try to manipulate the other person out of fear.
Oh my God. How many more do we have? I honestly don't know if we have time for all of these.
No, we do. We have 4
okay,
more.
I'm gonna say less because we gotta roll quicker.
Okay.
And I wanna see if this thing applies to all of those things.
Okay.
I hope you guys are loving this. Are you loving this? If you are loving this and you're watching this on a podcast, can you please leave us a review and subscribe? But if you're on YouTube, can you please subscribe? Because more people need to see it. And if you subscribe, and we got more subscribers, then more people are going to see it. And they need to hear this message because people are sad and depressed and in trouble in life. And they need to hear it.
And it's all because of how they lead themselves.
Okay.
Obsessions. Codependents have a tendency to spend their time thinking about other people or relationships. This is caused by their dependency and anxieties and fears. They can also become obsessed when they think they're made or might make a mistake. Sometimes you can lapse into a fantasy about how you'd like things to be or about someone you love as a way to avoid the pain of the present. This is one way to stay in denial discussed below, but it keeps you from living your life. like the relationships that are like, when it's good, but when it's bad, and like you keep on going back and forth for like 10 fucking years.
But when it's good, it's good. It's so good.
Gosh.
But when it's bad, you want to, I'm not going to say the most dramatic version, but you want to rip your hair out.
Yeah. Dependency. Codependents need other people to like them, to feel okay about themselves. They're afraid of being rejected or abandoned, even if they can function on their own. Others need always to be in a relationship because they feel depressed or lonely when they're by themselves too long. This trait makes it hard for them to end a relationship, even when the relationship is painful or abusive. They end up feeling trapped. Up to you, bitch. Get out. Get out. Denial. One of the problems people face in getting help for codependency is that they're in denial about it, meaning that they don't face their problem. Usually they think the problem is someone else or the situation. They either keep complaining or trying to fix the other person.
Oof.
Trying to fix the other person. Man, how many of y'all do that to your kids? Poor kids. Or go from one relationship or job to another and never own the fact that they have a problem. Codependents also deny their feelings and needs. Often they don't know what they're feeling and are instead focused on what others are feeling. The same thing goes for their needs. They pay attention to other people's needs and not their own. They might be in denial of their need for space and autonomy. Although some codependents might seem needy, others act like they're self-sufficient when it comes to needing help. They won't reach out and have trouble receiving. They're in denial of their vulnerability and need for love and intimacy.
Damn.
Problems with intimacy. By this, I'm not referring to sex, although sexual dysfunction is often a reflection of an intimacy problem. I'm talking about being open and close with someone in an intimate relationship because the shame and weak boundaries you might fear that you'll be judged, rejected, or left. On the other hand, you may fear being smothered in a relationship and losing your autonomy. You might deny your need for closeness and feel that your partner wants too much of your time. Your partner complains that you're unavailable, but he or she is denying his or her need for separateness. There was one person who I talked to about a week or two ago, and when they told me that with whatever they were going through with their partner, that's when the alert came. Yeah. I was like, shit's about to go down, and I'm so proud of you, Stephania, for knowing that you're worth it. Painful emotions. Codependency creates stress and leads to painful emotions. Shame and low self-esteem create anxiety and fear about being judged, rejected, and abandoned, making mistakes, being a failure, feeling trapped by closer, or being alone. The other symptoms lead to feelings of anger and resentment, depression, hopelessness, and despair. When the feelings are too much, you can feel numb. And by the way, this was all taken from Psych Central. Thank you, Psych Central.
Dang. Okay, so keep that here because I want to say what I thought about halfway through this. That's can sum it up into one thing. And I want to go through and see if it's true for each of these, just real quick.
Okay.
So the thought that I had, for one, if you notice, every single one of these has nothing to do with the other person and everything to do with your relationship with you. Nothing to do with them. It's the feelings that you have, right? You have low self-esteem. You are the people pleaser. You have poor boundaries. Okay? So first of all, everything, all problems and solutions begin and end with you. That's it. Okay?
Your life happens to you because of you.
Exactly. So what I thought was, every single one of these things, the cause is fear. It's fear. You're afraid. It's all fear. And it's fear of discomfort, fear of hurting someone else's feelings, fear of being alone, fear of facing your own personal demons. I think is probably the number one fear. Is like you are actually afraid to face what is lacking within yourself. So you sweep it under the rug by developing all of these traits. Mm-hmm. And you fear loss of control. Mm-hmm. You fear looking selfish to other people. Mm-hmm. I'm selfish if I say I don't want to be with you because XYZ, or it's going to hurt their feelings. And yes, like people have feelings and people's feelings get hurt, but people's feelings mostly get hurt because they're in the same position as you and they're not okay with themselves. Sarit, if I were to say, actually I say this all the time after we like work out, like when one of us stinks, like you stink. Mm-hmm. But it's never like, oh my God,
I do.
How dare you tell me I stink? Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, shit, I do.
You've got blood on your butt.
I got choices. Like I could go put deodorant on, or like I can just stink it up, you know? So like we have fears. They're all fear driven. And if you think about fear, I should know who said the only thing to fear is fear itself. I don't know who said that. But
where is Alexa when
I just know the quote, which is like, I should give credit where credit's due. But the only...
And then let's start wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Franklin Roosevelt.
Okay, so when you think about it, like fear is an emotion caused by the idea that something bad is going to happen. It's just an idea that something bad is going to happen. Creates this emotion of fear. And we have fear as a safety mechanism, as a survival mechanism, as a species to keep ourselves alive and safe. If you tell somebody you don't want to be with them anymore, or you explain to somebody like, hey, you make me feel XYZ and their feelings are hurt, are you going to die? No. But fear is fear, and that emotion makes us feel all the same, right? So in our minds, if we can rationalize and we have emotion, we have logic, and the emotion is fear. Logic is what's really going to happen. What's the worst that will happen? I cry, you cry, your feelings are hurt, we break up, I have to move a house. I'm thinking of worst case scenarios here, so don't go think like you have to go break up with somebody right now. But it's to understand that fear blocks so many people from doing so many things, and I truly believe it's why we're so unhappy. But mainly the fear of facing your own demons and your own weaknesses, because we perceive weakness as lesser than. If I'm weak, I'm less than. No, every single person is born with a certain set of strengths and a certain set of weaknesses. But guess what? Other people have strengths where you are weak, and that is why we need each other. So be okay with not being good at something. I am okay with the fact that Sarit is more strategic in her coaching process, and I just spew shit out of my mouth with no organization. But Sarit and I both also accept, I know how to use technology and click around on shit and figure things out to make things go live to you, where she puts all of it together. I'm not good at visualizing what needs to be put together, and I'm okay with that. When you come to terms with being okay with the fact that you have weaknesses, there's a certain amount of relief that you get from that.
Yeah.
And a certain amount of fear that's eliminated because of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the only way to get yourself outside of a codependent relationship or to acknowledge that, oh wow, like I guarantee you that if you're not in a soulful relationship where both partners are going up together, when I say going up, I mean going up in life, like your body's looking better, you're feeling better, you're making more money, things just feel right. You're going to a better place, you're moving like an arrow. If that's not happening to you, there's codependency. And there's only one way and one way only to come out of it. And I'm telling you all of this from my own personal experience. You have to grow.
You have to face your demons.
Yes. In order to grow, you have to make a commitment and you have to face your demons. You have to make sacrifices and work on your self-development. Now, here's the thing. In life, there's only one person that we can change, and that's ourselves. Stop trying to change others. There's only one person that you can change, and that's you.
We can influence.
We can influence and we can hope for the best. However, on the receiver's end, they might not receive it the way that you had expected to.
This is
If not, then that's a sign that your higher potential is not meant to be with that person, and that's okay.
This is us leading the horse to the water.
Yes.
But the horse has to drink the water.
Yep.
I was going to say, nobody can force you to swallow, and I know that you assholes would take that the wrong way because, it's funny, hashtag, I'm 12! But we are leading you guys to the fountain of youth.
And also, speaking about swallow, can you swallow one bite at a time instead of trying to expect that you're going to swallow the whole world in one day? This is one of the differences between an amateur and a pro. An amateur expects their entire life to change in a day, and a pro understands that, oh my gosh, how does that quote go? People overestimate what they can accomplish in a year, but they underestimate what they can accomplish in a decade. Stop thinking that your entire life is going to change like in 2 days. And if you had a bad day, we all have unfortunate circumstances happen to us. Doing your best every day looks different. Be gentle with yourself, but be real with yourself. The reason why so many of you guys have this like back and forth is because you know you're in pain and you're like, fuck it, I'm over it. But then because you've been letting it like build up for so long, you want it to all be out in one day. No, dude, it doesn't work that way. It takes years.
And you know
Not weeks, years.
And it's painful.
Yeah.
But better going in or better coming out than in, right? It's painful when it's being absorbed. It's painful to release.
Yeah.
So either way. And
but what's
do you know what species swallows shit whole? Fucking snakes.
True.
You want to be a snake? When they got in their whole body and it goes down, there's like a rat and it's like...
All you all or nothing people are like snakes. You're like snakes, and there's no wonder why if you're all or nothing,
you're a human trying to be a snake, and it's no wonder you're misaligned.
Yes.
That's what that means.
Yes. You put it in a good
translation. Sarit's translation.
So, I'm done for today.
I'm done too. I'm done. We always say, okay, let's wrap it up 15 minutes later. You guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Do you have any last minute housekeeping things? Oh, we are starting the In Motion Challenge on Monday.
Yes. So if you haven't already downloaded the app, make sure to do so. If you want to be on the run to maybe winning $1,000, we already had 4 people from our community win it, then just make sure to join by also ordering the Motion Box.
Yeah, Motion Box or the Wellness Pack, Performance Pack, or the Wellness Pack. And doing the membership. But when you do the membership, it's like you're basically making it back right away anyways, and then you end up getting 50 bonus bucks. There's some stuff to it, and I don't want to explain it all here because I don't want people to feel like they're obligated or have to, or we're pushing it on them. But if you do have interest in that, we do have an Erin and Sarit Team XND page, and I did drop the link yesterday. I'll drop it again today. If you care to know more about X Endurance products in general or how to win that $1,000, that's the page to ask on, because those are the people who care and are interested. I don't want to force it on everybody in this main page to think that they're obligated to do that.
Yes. But In Motion Challenge starts on Monday. 21-day challenge. It's completely free. All you have to do is just download the Team XND app, and every day just 20 minutes of movement.
Yeah. Let's get moving.
And don't be one of those people that says, oh, just 20 minutes, that's too little. Hey, do that straight for 21 days and then talk to us.
Yeah, see how little it is on the day you don't feel like doing it.
Exactly. That's where you grow, not on day one. Other than that, tomorrow is guest interview day. Tomorrow we have a friend and a fellow Grant Cardone licensee. When I heard that guy speak for the first time, I'm like, man, like he vibrates on a very like soulful level, and I just have to connect with him. And this guy is amazing. Montel Fleming is his name. Really successful in the real estate game. This is not a real estate conversation. This is just a life and an ownership conversation. We're gonna get very deep. He's also an African-American male, so I'm gonna ask him a lot of questions with regards to what's going on, from his own eyes, in today's just shenanigans with, the elections coming up and Black Lives Matter and all of that. So, if you guys just want to hop on, just a good life coffee conversation. Tomorrow we have Montel Fleming. Join us at 6 a.m. Remember, interview days are at 6. Other than that, you guys, we will catch you on Monday at 6:30. If you're in the wrong transformation, remember, Q&A call today at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We love seeing you every single day. It really, truly feels like a blessing that you guys feel like you get value from these. So it is our honor and our pleasure to continue showing up for you as long as you continue showing up for yourself.
And as always, if you really found value in today's conversation, do us a favor. There's really one fee for this, and it's called Pay It Forward.
Share the love.
Share it with somebody that you love or care, or that you're in a codependent relationship with. That'll be a great way to start the conversation. Just saying.
Oh my God, I watched this video and it blew my mind. Just send it to him.
Yep.
Let us do the heavy lifting. All right, guys, thank you so much. Have a beautiful Thursday or whatever day you're watching this, and we will see you next time.
Bye. Guys.